guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. If you're new, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. So today's video is going to be the 15 signs of a spiritual awakening to your higher conscious being. This is something that I research quite often and I find super interesting, so I thought it would be a great video to share with you guys. Some of these I have already hit, some of them I haven't. My spiritual journey is going to be completely different from your spiritual journey. I just think it's really great to understand and become aware of what goes on when we do reach our higher being and we create that stillness within us and we are more awakened as spiritual beings. So the first sign is a change and shift in perspective. We no longer see certain situations the same as how we used to see them. Our minds perceive them differently and we get different things from situations in our life than we did before we reached this higher conscious being. By a change in perspective, I mean as like more of a childlike perspective. We see the beauty in things and we see stillness and we're super present and we're just captured by just like the most simplest things, simple in the minds of what we used to be, but really great in the minds that we have now. For example, nature, just simple pleasures in your life that bring you a sense of happiness. We really appreciate it and we become almost overwhelmed by the simple things in life. We become captivated rather than just being on autopilot through our day-to-day activities. People, situations, things, we're kind of just like consumed with this overwhelming feeling of gratitude and awe, and the little things or the simple things in our previous life is more complex now and we see so much more than just what meets the eye. We're super connected to it, whether that's nature, life, just like beautiful things in general. Our senses are amplified when we go through our day-to-day lives and we just get simple pleasures from simple activities such as driving or walking or writing in our journals. So the second sign is we decrease our interest in irrelevant argumentative topics. That means politics, putting yourself above or below other people, complaining, things that create a sense of negativity. We no longer feel the need to like feed our ego with it and we kind of just stay clear of those topics and those situations because there's no point in them. We take pleasure in what's the present moment in the life around us right here and right now, and talking about the news or politics or even just like celebrity drama or drama in your life is no longer relevant to you. You don't really benefit or gain anything from it. It actually drags your energy down. So we stay clear of these topics and we no longer have an interest or need to communicate our feelings and opinions to other people, and we no longer feel the need to listen to other people's opinions about these certain things, and we're just simply okay with the present moment and we don't take things like opinions or beliefs and put them in the present moment by creating a situation out of irrelevant things. So the third sign is that we are more quiet and aware and we listen more than we speak. Taking in what is the present moment correlates to the first sign, and that's change in perspective, because we take what we need from certain situations and we look at life as more of a meaningful circumstance than the autopilot phase that we were once in, and becoming aware of everything that a person brings to you, a situation brings to you. We are aware of everything, so we sit back and we kind of take in the moment. There's no need to express, defend, or push thoughts and beliefs onto another human being or situation. We're more content with what is present right now and we take in everything that we are presently aware of. We also don't really need that much attention when it comes to being in social situations. We are more content to watch, assist, and learn from other people and human beings. So the fourth sign is the value of being alone. We are no longer afraid of being alone. If anything, we actually crave our alone time and we appreciate our alone time. This is when creativity sparks and you're able to kind of meditate and sit with your thoughts and understand and become more self-aware. That means less technology, less social media, and just being out in nature and being one with ourselves and just really being still with ourselves. No longer needing to feel like you have to consume yourself with these tasks and things to do and technology, we're okay with just being still and being at peace with one. I personally look at it as more of like a growth time rather than alone time. I feel like I grow the most when I'm alone. So the fifth sign is the feeling of oneness, and that means being interconnected to everyone and seeing everyone as love. Our deepest part of our soul is love, and we are all connected in some way. And by all, I mean nature, animals, human beings. We are all souls, we are all love, and we are all interconnected. We are all just beings on this earth. We are spiritual beings living a human experience, and that is something that we learn to feel over time the more we grow spiritually. So the sixth sign is new belief systems, and that means changing up what you originally thought of as your opinion or your belief, your deep-rooted ways of life that were conditioned in us from the time of being a child based on our culture, the way our parents taught us, our experiences in life. Shift and change of those opinions and beliefs are huge in spiritual growth just because they are so deep-rooted and we've lived with them for such a long time, and we were conditioned in a certain way and kind of guided by society to behave in a certain way. And when we learn to create new beliefs and new habits for ourselves, that's a huge sign that you've kind of awakened. We learn to challenge these things and play around with different belief systems. Questioning our reality and our beliefs is actually very normal. It is kind of taboo in a lot of societies. We are raised to believe in a certain thing, and if you go around that or you question it, it can be a little bit misguided in a way, and people can sit there and judge you. But when you learn to be accepting of new beliefs and learn from new beliefs and create new habits for yourself, that's a huge monumental thing. Another thing that comes with this is that we are all free, and that's the truth. We are free to make the decisions and the habits that we want in our particular life, and being okay with other people's beliefs. What you believe in may not be what I believe in, but we can still appreciate and love the lifestyle that we both choose. With these new changes in beliefs, you can change up your diet, you can change up your job and your career, your relationships, where you live can change, and all of these shifts and change come with the new belief system and the new you per se. So the seventh thing is that we are more happy with less things. We no longer feel the need to collect these materialistic items that don't really bring long-term happiness. They bring instant gratification, and I think it's okay to appreciate materialistic things, but we no longer feel the need to have them, and we're okay with less things. What we crave is more freedom with time, our energy, and the flexibility of our time. We crave just being still and being intuitive, and we don't feel the need that materialistic items will bring that happiness. The more we get, the more we want. It's kind of like the grass is always greener on the other side. Like when you get a materialistic item, with that materialistic item that you want, you're always going to crave more, and then once you get that, you're going to crave more, and it's just kind of an ongoing cycle. So we're okay to appreciate them, but we no longer feel the need to have and obtain them, and that just brings lasting inner peace and being okay and grateful for what you have now, rather than feeling the need to always have a new thing. By not attaching to materialistic items, we feel more light and free. So the eighth sign is that we no longer feel the need to live by the clock. And by the clock, I mean kind of man-made time. There's no such thing as time. There's only here in the present. There's no future. There's no past. When we were in the past and when we are going to be in the future, we will ultimately be in the present. So that's all that really matters. Being intuitive with your sleep schedule, with eating, and no longer feeling the need to have a certain time planned out, I've kind of realized has kind of grown in me a little bit. I still like appreciate the clock and I appreciate time, but I also know the difference between a time schedule and using time to my advantage, if that makes any sense. Like I no longer live by the clock, but I use the clock to my advantage. So number 9 is you are drawn to personal development. And by personal development, I mean your spiritual development, learning about who you truly are, meditating, appreciating the moment, becoming more in tune with your body, your mind, your thoughts. You kind of strive from this personal development, and the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know anything, and the more you have to know. It's really interesting. I have so much more to learn. When you are learning about yourself and becoming aware of your spiritual self, you are helping other people in the process, because once you learn to like take care of yourself and your mind and your spiritual growth, you can directly correlate that and help other people. The more you love yourself, the better you're able to help other people. Number 10 is synchronicity. Not synchronicity, synchronicity. Give this video a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. But synchronicity is basically like small coincidences that you see throughout your day, whether that's angel numbers like 11, 11, 11. You may have a personal number that you see quite often. If you see an ongoing theme, whether that's an animal, just little things that kind of keep popping up here and there, look up symbolism and signs of what that means, because it could be your intuition kind of guiding you and angels guiding you and spirit guides. So I always look at numbers. I look at my dreams. If I'm talking about something and then it randomly happens, I look at that as like a sign and I thank the universe for it. Another thing you can do is look into your horoscope, and even if you don't really believe in horoscopes, you can use it to your advantage, because there could be little signs and signals in the horoscope that speak to you directly and can help guide you through your life. So just look at it as more of a guide, a reminder from the universe, and always make sure to show gratitude for it. The 11th thing is that we are love and light. A book that I recently read really helped me understand the soul a little bit more, and that's called Life After Life. I'll leave it linked down below if you guys want to get it. I talked about it quite a few times in my videos recently, but it's really been a game changer for me. I look at our souls completely differently now. I literally look at our souls as light and love. It's not a physical form like a human. It's not like some alien. It's not an angel with wings. It is light. For me personally, I look at it as light, and I look at it as just overwhelming sense of love and joy. When we start to look at our souls as more of a light and almost energy rather than a physical form, that's a huge sign in spiritual growth. In other words, we are part of the cosmos. I personally feel that we are here for a reason, and like I said, we are souls and light in a human experience, kind of gaining what we need from this human existence on Earth. But deep down, I feel that we are separate from our bodies, and I feel that we have bodies, but we are not our bodies. We are much deeper than what just meets the eye. So the 12th sign is feeling deep emotion. And by deep, I mean deep. Like when you're happy, you are just on cloud 9, you're so joy, you have a feeling of bliss, and you just don't know how to explain it. And it sometimes comes out of nowhere. You just have this overwhelming feeling of joy and triumph and like just pure happiness. But when you're also upset, you can really feel being upset. You don't attach to that feeling, detach from our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings, but we appreciate having them and we take what we need from them. This is very difficult to do when it's a negative situation. And I'm the first to admit I have trouble sometimes. I let my ego rule. But the fact of becoming aware of that is also another sign. We realize that these emotions are part of the flow of life and part of the journey, so we don't attach ourselves to them. And when we have them, we know that they are temporary. We are not our emotions. We are not our thoughts. We are not our feelings. We simply have them. And becoming aware of that and taking what we need and listening to our emotions as more of a guide through life is a great sign from the universe that you are growing spiritually. We understand it, we use our intuition, our gut, and we learn and kind of guide our lives based on what we're feeling. We use our feelings to our advantage instead of attaching to them, identifying with them, and letting them rule our lives. So the 13th sign is taking inspired action. Inspired action means taking action that inspires you and motivates you and you appreciate and you're fully engaged in, rather than action based out of fear. For example, if you're trying to look for a new job, instead of taking action based on fear, oh my gosh, I can't pay my bills, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills, I have to get a job. Inspired action, I really want a job, it's gonna, bring this to my life. You use the inspiration more behind your action rather than using conflicted feelings such as fear or anger. It's based on love and intuition, and you're being grateful for certain things that you're bringing into your life with this action. You worry less and you overthink less. And deep down, you just have this feeling of trust and that everything is going going to be okay, because you're no longer fearful and you're doing it based on inspired action because you have this gut feeling that this is what you're supposed to do, and you're okay, and you know that it's going to work out, and you're doing it for a reason. The 14th sign is pure bliss. I've talked about this in my 5 layers of being. It's the most deep layer of just being and your soul. Having pure bliss means that you are so enwrapped and developed in what you're doing that you're just so unaware of everything else that's going on around you, and you're completely immersed in this action or this thing. You just feel it in your chest. You're just like so ecstatic and happy. When you have your newborn child and you just see your first child for the first time, that is a feeling of overwhelming bliss. But the thing is, you get this bliss for no particular reason per se to other people, but to you, just like ordinary things can bring pure bliss. And you just feel so happy to be alive, and it's just a really great feeling. And the 15th and final sign is that you no longer fear death. Death is a very taboo subject to talk about, and I honestly am very interested and intrigued by death. Not in a way that is creepy or weird. It might be to you, but to me it's more of learning and becoming aware of our conscious being and our soul and what happens after life, more so the consciousness in us rather than our physical bodies. And I'm always just curious to know, again, jeez, that scared me. Again, that book that I read, Life After Life, is a huge part in this. It made me not fear death. I actually am very understanding of death, and I look at it completely differently. Again, I'll leave it linked down below. I really recommend, if you guys can't tell in my videos, like, trust me, it's really good. But we realize that death is not the end. If anything, it's a transition to a new experience. We look at it more as a transformation from our human existence into our soul and consciousness. Again, we are not just our physical bodies. We are so much more than that. We are the conscious beings, and our souls have purpose in this life. You're just more understanding of death, and honestly more curious about death, which is something that I recently have been really getting into. Not in a morbid way, but just more so the consciousness behind our mind and what happens after we leave our physical body. Those are the 15 signs of spiritual awakening. If you guys like this style of video, I can do some more signs, because there are so many different signs that you have grown spiritually, and I think it's so interesting. So I can definitely do a part 2 to this. If you guys want me to do that, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in a future video. Bye guys. He only bought a bad, well, tell him that he getting old. Yeah. I fly you overseas to Korea, my money getting old.